What's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about how I shoot PFS. And I say how I shoot PFS because usually once somebody starts shooting PFS, they're already a fairly advanced slingshot shooter and they're already perfectly capable of figuring out what works for them all by themselves. So there are dozens of different ways. Heck, there's as many different ways of shooting PFS as there are PFS shooters out there. So this is just a little bit of about how I do it. First thing that is important for me in getting a PFS right is tying the bands correctly. Because what I really am trying to achieve is a flat line of sight along the bands, as flat as I can get, as narrow as I can get. So I'm going to cut away from this and just show you a little bit up close about how I tie the bands to get that. Okay, so I've got this set up top down to hopefully make it a little bit easier to see what's happening here. I've got my PFS frame here and my band set. This right here that you're looking at is the target side of the frame. If I flip it over here, this is the shooter side of the frame. So when I actually would be shooting it, I'd be holding like this, with this fork here being my top fork, and the point on the top fork there being what I sight off of. Okay, so I'm going to flip it back over. So we're looking now at the target side, and remember this one is my top fork when I'm actually shooting. Now, for the bands, I use a pit pouch. So it's really easy to tell, here are the pits and it's silver. That's the ball side of the pouch, or the inside. If I flip it over, this is the side that I would actually pinch, or the outside of the pouch. And what I want you to notice is that I've drawn lines on the bands at exactly the length that I want those bands to be when I have them clipped into the frame. But importantly, I've got one line on the inside of the band, and I've got the other line, and turn the pouch over there, that's the outside of the pouch, and the other line is on the outside of the band. And I'm going to have both lines end up being on the target side of the frame. And I'll show you why in just a second. But before I get to that, let's talk about how these are tied. You can see I've got the tri-fold tie on these. That is a TTF, or a through the fork style fold. As opposed to, hold on a second. This is my normal target shooting frame, and I've got these folded as just a single fold. So they're just folded in half. And that causes there to be a fairly straight line here when I actually have it pulled back. You can see that I'm looking on my target frame down a pretty darn straight line when I'm shooting. But for PFS, even though this is an over-the-top configuration, it would have to be for a PFS, I still have these bands tied up in a TTF style. So with the bands folded in a TTF style, and one mark on the inside, that's going to be my top fork, and one mark on the outside, that's going to be my bottom fork, I'm going to install the bands just like that. I didn't actually trim that quite short enough, but that's okay. It'll get the point across. Okay, so now I have these installed. Now, if I were to shoot this like a normal target frame, I mean, look, you can already tell that bottom one looks like it has a twist in it, and the top one, the bottom of this current camera frame, but actually the top fork looks like it kind of has a twist in it, but the other one doesn't. And if I were to pinch it as though I was actually going to shoot this, that becomes even more obvious. You can see on this one there is a distinct twist, and on that one there is not. But when you're shooting PFS, you don't normally, or at least I don't, hold the pouch like I normally would for target shooting. I, I and most other people twist the pouch. And look what just happened. When I put a 90-degree twist in it, those two bands flattened out. They now don't have any twist in them, and in fact, they are quite flat. So that, with my fingers turned this way, I now have a flat line to sight off of when I'm shooting. Okay, the second thing that is important to me when it comes to shooting PFS is draw length. Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, you probably know that I am, for target shooting purposes, a short draw shooter. I have a face anchor right here, right? Uh, and that's how I shoot for target. That becomes a problem for me when shooting PFS. And the reason is, you know, you know what a PFS is. There's basically no gap here. Not a big enough gap for a ball to pass through. So you have two choices uh, in how to get the ammo past the frame. One is to get the frame out of the way fast enough. You let go of the ball, you get the frame out of the way so it's not where it was anymore, and the ball doesn't hit it. Number two is you can try to get the ball over the frame, right? So potentially the frame could stay where it is, but instead of the ball going straight into it, it would pass over it. Some people do both of those things, right? Get it out of the way and send it over. Either way, both of those things take a little bit of time to get the ball to where you want it to be, or get the frame where you want it to be. And the shorter your draw length, the less time you have between release and the time that that ball gets to where the frame is. So I find, regardless of what I'm trying to do, whether I'm trying to send the ball over the frame or get the frame out of the way, I can't achieve either of them with a short draw. Right? I need a slightly longer draw just to give me a little bit more time to get the frame out of the way or to get the ball over the frame. And it doesn't even take much. My normal standard draw length with the face anchor is about 32 inches. When I'm shooting PFS, I kind of hold it a little bit past my ear here, like that. It's only about an extra 4 inches. It's about 36 inches for PFS, but that just a little bit longer gets me what I need. You'll also note the third thing about how I shoot PFS that is, well, not unique to me, but differs among people, is that I hold the frame sideways, just like I do for normal target shooting. Some people hold it upright. Some people hold it at a 45, whatever. I'm pretty close to dead on sideways, just like I do for target shooting. The fourth thing that you'll see me do is, whereas with my normal target shooting, I'm trying to keep that frame, you know, dead on almost 90 degrees this way from my body. For PFS shooting, I will push those forks just a little bit forward. Not a lot, just a little bit. Some people you'll see go way forward. You know, some people stay about dead even. I like to go just a little bit forward. And that helps me just get the frame out of the way a little bit quicker. I don't flick my wrist. You know, it's not like I go, and flick my wrist really hard. I don't. I actually try to hold my wrist about where it is. but just by pushing it a little bit further forward, the release of the tension in my left hand is going to naturally send it just a little bit forward to get the ball or get the frame just a little bit out of the way. The next thing, and what are we on, 5, I guess? I don't actually know, that you'll see a lot of people do, and so do I, is when you are shooting normal target shooting, not with a PFS, your thumb, most people, not everybody, but a lot of people will shoot with their thumb up. For PFS purposes, a 90-degree twist is what I do. It's probably what most people do. And that is what sort of helps get the ball over the frame. Remember I said before, you can either get the frame out of the way or you can get the ball over the frame. A 90-degree twist in your pinch, in your pinch, kind of makes a little bit of a speed bump off of your thumb and just pushes the ball out just a little bit over the frame. Some people take that even further, and they will, let's see if I can get a good picture of this. They'll not only have it, their fingers turned 90 degrees, but they'll also tweak it. And this is what people mean when they say a tweak. And that is making a really big speed bump with your thumb, right? To really send it over the frame. I don't really tweak. I don't think what I do can be called a tweak. But it kind of is too. And what I mean by that is, if this is my normal target pinch, my thumb, you can see it's almost pointing straight up in the air. It's like really, really out of the way. I hook that thumb underneath my cheekbone like that, so that when I let go, there's no thumb in the way at all. But when shooting PFS, I keep my thumb straight. Not tweaked, right? Not down like that. Just a little straighter. And that makes just enough of a bump to help get the ball over the frame. And also remember, I'm pressing forward just a little bit. And so the frame is out of the way. So between those two things, just a tiny, tiny tweak and a little bit of press forward, I don't get frame hits. I do not want to see a close-up, slow motion video of my own shot, because I don't want to know how close it is, but I'll bet it's pretty darn close. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's how I shoot PFS. But of course, no video would be complete without a little demo. So I've got, let's see if I can, right there in my catch box is a little 6-centimeter spinner. Honestly, 6 centimeters is about as low as I'm going to go. I'm not that good at PFS, at least not yet. But as always in my videos, if you're watching this, this is the first time I've done this recording. I'm going to do one take. This might be great. It might suck. I really don't know, but you're going to see what it really looks like when I do it. Here we go. That was a miss just to the right. That was a miss just high. That was a miss way right. Oh, that was just a tiny bit high. There's a hit. Let's see if I can do that again. Yeah, all right, now I'm dialing it in. That's 2 in a row. There we go, 3 in a row. Four. 5. Ooh, I missed just high. I think I actually caught the cord. You might have been able to see it jiggle just a little bit there. I'm not going to call that a hit, though. Just low. One more shot just for fun. Hopefully I can finish well. There we go. Hit the last one. That feels good. So yeah, that was a kind of a rough start. But frankly, that's PFS for you, you know. Sometimes you're just off, and sometimes you're on. And frankly, if you're not getting fork hits, you're having a good day. So that's how I shoot PFS. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.